everyone, Joshua Hanlon here at Brickfest Panama 2018, and I'm joined by a couple of talented builders from Costa Rica, and they're going to take us through these builds here. And then to help us with that, we've got Martin, who will be translating for us.
Estos son dos autobuses que circulan en Costa Rica, son 100% MOC, igual que el camión, también circula en Costa Rica mucho y entonces fueron los que se trataron de representar de nuestro país.
These are actually full-scale MOCs they use for designing. They designed 2 coaster buses that transit out in Costa Rica. Mostly you can see them as well through the border between Panama and Costa Rica. And as well as they even made a representation of a cargo truck for transporting the containers that move along between the borders and also in Panama City. They're talking that they pretty much built this thing from scratch. They actually try to bring something from Costa Rica, and as well as the truck over here.
Yeah, very impressive. So let's talk a little bit more about the design, particularly kind of the angles and the way you're getting all the different colors, at angles and everything there.
¿Qué me pueden hablar un poquito de este rojo? Hablan un poquito del diseño, las proporciones, los ángulos, que están muy interesados en saber cómo fueron que hicieron la mecánica, la proporción de los colores y el diseño.
Ok, esto es un autobús que circula en Costa Rica. Lo que yo tengo es fotografías de las personas que pintaron el autobús, o en realidad es un diseño en computadora, de lado, de frente y de la parte de trasera, y son los que yo utilicé para escalar el autobús en un programa AutoCAD y luego transformar las medidas a algo que me sirviera de Lego, tanto en colores como en tamaño del autobús, tratar de mantener las formas.
Okay, so mostly he used references from live model in transit, and then he actually made a small scale model, and then he converted it through AutoCAD to get a slightly more proportionate design. This is an actual concept of how that is in real life. Once he got the actual redesigned 3D concept in AutoCAD, he started using it on a digital program to get an actual estimate for how many pieces, what pieces, and how it should look in real life. After that, he built the real scale model with Lego pieces for showcasing here.
Él está basado en la mecánica de los Model Team de finales de los 80, principios de los 90. Lo que es la vuelta, el giro delantero, está a un tercio de relación en la parte de atrás. Entonces eso es lo que sirven los buses grandes en lo que son esquinas para facilitar el cruce.
So the model is based mostly on between the 80s and 90s version of the Technic series, mostly because it has a working inside axle system that actually is based on the real life concept that the buses use for transportation and movement, which is actually very helpful since you can see that the light brick here is actually the main system for the turning axle point between the front system and the back system. As well as that, they use the same principle for the old Technic models for the doors and the entire sections for storing what would be the luggage in the real life system.
So there's a lot of movement and sort of playability there.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement and a lot of playability according to them. You can actually see how they scale up all the entire system in the inside.
I love that there's even interiors, and then I know on this bus here, there's even, is it custom decals?
Me dicen ellos que les gusta mucho el diseño original, cómo está muy bien hecho la proporción, y me comentan también que veo que usaron también stickers customs para trabajarle lo que sería el detalle, para que esté más realista, para que se sienta realista.
Sí, de hecho, para este autobús azul ya hay detalles que hacer en Lego, por ejemplo, el tamaño de las letras, la forma del venado era muy complejo en Lego, entonces decidí que esos detalles ya se hacían con unos stickers hechos también en algún programa de computadora y trasladados al modelo.
So basically what they say is that since Lego doesn't have enough flexibility for the stickers they use for this kind of projects, they actually work from scratch. They design from scratch the entire stickers, and then they pass it over for printing on a special printing machine to get actually the special design, the special sizes. The stickers are customs, so they mostly had to work with something that Lego usually does not make, in order for them to create something that is more or less accurate to the real life version of this model, which is actually the one you can see over here on the phone.
Yeah, that's fantastic work. So then let's move down to the Maersk truck here. And for this, let's talk about the front portion. There's some pretty hard to achieve angles there. So how do they achieve that with the pieces?
¿Qué me pueden hablar un poquito de este modelo? Es bastante interesante cómo ustedes crearon esta versión que tiene una cantidad de curvas, una muy buena proporción definida. No sé qué me pueden comentar un poquito también el diseño, cómo fueron trabajando el proceso de armado.
Ok, este camión es una Freightliner. Está basado el chasis en el original Model Team 5580 y la cabina en uno de los camiones que más vemos en Costa Rica también. Básicamente la estructura interna es muy parecida al modelo original del Lego 5580. El resto, digamos, la exterior sí es totalmente mock.
So mostly this is based on the original real-life Freightliner model we see most days in the street. The chassis is based on the real-life contraption model that it was done by Lego, but roughly the entire size, the entire outer space that is right now was custom built. They actually start working this from scratch. They made the model have a little bit more realistic look from the real-life model. They pretty much worked this thing from scratch. The only thing that they used as a basis model was the entire engine, like the entire contraption from Technique, from the real-life model that Lego did.
Es importante, la referencia que nosotros hacemos es a partir de los Model Team. Ya Lego no los volvió a hacer desde hace años. Como estamos viendo en el video ahorita, el contenedor se levanta de la carreta y se puede, si tuviéramos una grúa lo suficientemente grande lo podríamos levantar y sería totalmente funcional. Es un contenedor refrigerado y la carreta podría aguantar otro contenedor igual a ese sin ningún problema.
So basically they start working with a modeling team to create most of the aspect for the container. He says that the container is actually based from the real-life model concept from Maersk, and it says that due to the amount of detail, it can actually support a second container and they would not lose any, it would not have any problem, it would not lose any sort of mobility, it would still work. And if they would have an actual scale crane to lift the container, it would actually be better. It would actually show a better angle about how this was created on a real-life scale proportion.
Well, it's excellent work. I love all of the builds here, so thank you so much for bringing them to the show. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Me gustaron mucho los modelos que ustedes hicieron. Les agradezco mucho este tipo de trabajo que han traído y sigan adelante con este tipo de trabajo.
No, igual, muchas gracias por venir y esperemos tenerte pronto en Costa Rica, en un show propio por allá.
They're very welcome for your words, and they're happy that you guys like this so much, and they're pretty much expecting to get the recognition, and they're hopeful you guys can come to Costa Rica and see one of their own shows they're going to probably get in the future.
We'd love to. Thank you so much.